Hey there guys, today I'm going to be doing a video on marriage after kids. I actually asked you guys what this week's video is going to be about. I sent out 4 poll answers for you guys to choose from on my Twitter, and you guys voted for this one. And then I headed over to Twitter and I asked you guys for questions pertaining to this topic for me to answer in this video. So make sure that you are following me on Twitter and Instagram if you want to be part of like picking videos in the future. You can always chat with me and find me off of YouTube there as well, just posting pictures of our girls and such. So before we get into the questions, I wanted to mention that I do have a cold right now, so I might sound a little bit raspy, but the first question I'm going to answer is actually going to be kind of the foundation for a lot of my other answers. And this question came from DC Kaufman 41126, and she asked, what is the best advice or wisdom that you have gotten from another married couple with children that you would say has really impacted your marriage? So I'm not sure if this came from one of our mentors or from a marriage book, but my answer would definitely be that the best gift that you can give to your kids is to have a very strong marriage. It's really important for Ryan and I to make sure that we have that strong relationship for our kids to see, so that they're confident that their mom and dad love each other. It's making sure that if you haven't connected with your spouse lately, that that's what you do first and that it's a priority, because in the long run that is going to help your kids a lot more than making sure that your dishes are clean or that your toilet bowl is clean or that all of their toys were picked up right after you put them to sleep. Alright, so now that that question is out of the way, we're going to start out with the juicy stuff, because I know a lot of you guys are probably clicking on this wanting to know about how the sex life is after marriage. And a couple of you guys asked that question. Specifically, Alyssa Hubert asked, this may be super personal, but I'm wondering for myself and my husband's sake, how are you able to keep the romantic spark alive? After a long day with your kids and Ryan's long days at work, that's a problem that we are dealing with currently. After a super long day, especially teething days, I get in bed and just want to sleep. All of us moms have been there. I'm pretty sure we all know. We get into bed, the husband's like, hey honey, and you're like, hey honey, I'm tired. Been there. Totally understand. And the biggest difference for us when it came to that was remembering that sex can be had at any time during the day. And if you don't happen to have any time during the day, even if you're both home, this other piece of advice was really helpful for us. It's not going to cure your being sleepy, but it did help us a lot. And that is to set a schedule for sex. I know putting your sex life on a schedule sounds kind of strange, but it really made a big difference for us, because we had a couple month span where Ari was not sleeping. I was constantly tired. For us, we said that we would not go more than 4 days. And this stopped like everyone from like hurt feelings or anything like that. You know that it's gonna happen. And if like there's another day where you're just like, honey, I'm kind of tired right now, I'm not really in the mood, he gets less hurt knowing that like I'm gonna get it this day. So I know that's strange, but trust me, it will make a big difference. And the last piece of advice for that is that planning date nights where your kids get babysat and instead going home. Because you gotta find time for you and your spouse. You just gotta figure out how. I know that this is so exhausting. Trust me, I know. Ari, until recently, who's 9 months old, was waking up every hour and a half to 2 hours. I was exhausted. To me, it's worth losing that sleep over not being connected with your spouse and not making that time and adding another stressful situation into already trying to adapt to a new baby. So definitely keep that mindset of the best gift that you can give to that new baby that you have, or your children in general, is to have a strong marriage. And so try and make sex a priority. Make it a priority. Setting some kind of schedule if you find you and your spouse are just going like ridiculously too long can definitely be very helpful. Alright, so next question comes from Kylie Jean, and she went to church with me actually, fun fact. She wants to know, how has intimacy changed since having 2 kids? Not a lot has changed besides, you know, we go a few more days maybe in between here and there, but I think pretty much, at least for us, like our sex life is just kind of like a wave. Like sometimes it'll be every day for a week or 2, and then we'll go, you know, the 4-day route, which we still actually kind of keep that. And for Ryan and I, we tend to get a lot more snippy with each other and a lot more attitude towards one another when it's been longer between us having sex. And so for us, I know maybe not every married couple is going to be like that, but for us, sex is definitely a higher priority list item because of that. You know, we don't want to be arguing and being snippy with each other all the time, and so we definitely know that if that starts happening, it's because it's been a little bit too long. So really, just the base difference is there's not as much spontaneity, which can be a downside to things, and then the longer periods of time between. Otherwise, nothing has changed. Feeling-wise, I know this is TMI, guys, but this was the question that I had. Like, I was so scared when I was pregnant with Revelyn that Ryan was not going to enjoy sex at all anymore, because I was afraid, like, you know, you just pushed out a baby and you're just like, is it gonna go back to normal? Like, what's gonna happen? It went back to normal, guys. It was all good. He didn't notice. So if you are wondering that and you're pregnant right now, don't worry anymore. Why does nobody mention this? I literally searched Google for this, for somebody to say something, and nobody said anything. I can't feel like I'm the only one that worried about this. After you push out a 6 to 9 pound baby, you can't not wonder whether everything will go completely back to normal and your husband will still enjoy it. I can't be the only one. Please tell me. If I am the only one, that's awkward. Next question comes from All Time Whiskey Princess, and I'm going to answer your second question, and that was, did you ever have trouble deciding if you wanted to be a stay-at-home mom or work at something you were passionate about? I'm 17, and I know I've always conflicted about becoming a vet or being a stay-at-home mom. I know it's a long time away, but if I work towards becoming a vet, I will work a lot and it will be hard to balance work and family, and I want to have at least 3 kids. As of now, anything can change and happen, and I want to stay at home with them and do things around the house. Alright, so for this question, a lot of people actually don't realize that I am not just a stay-at-home mom, I actually am a working mother. YouTube takes a lot of time. It can take anywhere from 3 hours on a shorter day to 8 hours on a long day, and plus then. Behind the scenes, there's also a lot of things that you guys don't see, and that's working on branding, answering emails, and working on sponsorships with companies. There's a lot of stuff that goes into YouTube, and so I actually am definitely a working mother, and I don't just stay at home with the kids. And it can be hard to balance. Trust me, there are days that I take off, and you guys know, I'll post on Twitter and be like, hey, I'm not posting a video this week because my kids need to come first. Now, obviously, I am my own boss when it comes to YouTube, so I definitely understand the fear of deciding, hey, I really want to stay home with my kids, but I also have this passion to be a veterinarian. And I can't remember where I heard this advice from. It could have been from someone in passing or one of our mentors or a book, but it talked about how you need to make sure that you never put your dreams aside for your kids, because the only thing that it teaches your kids is that they should push their dreams aside too. And that seriously is so true, is that by pushing your passions and your dreams aside, the only thing that you're teaching your kids is to do the same. Obviously, there is that fine line in which it becomes inappropriate to put your work before your family, but we're talking about your passion and your dream here, and you should never push that completely aside just because you're afraid of the what ifs, about what if I don't have enough time for my kids, what if I don't have time for this. And honestly, I think that's just purely worry. And I know plenty of veterinarians that, yes, some of them may work long hours, but they are awesome parents, awesome moms, awesome dads, and they find a balance between the two. If you don't already, go ahead and check out the link list here on YouTube. Elle's husband, Dan, he is a veterinarian, and he works and is also a dad, and he is awesome at being one. And so if you need kind of some inspiration of juggling those two, of a veterinarian and being a parent, definitely go check out their channel. Alright, so the next question comes from Hannah. I don't actually know how to say her last name. I'm gonna butcher it. I know it. Hannah Nagili? Why don't you go check her out? I will link her down in the description box below. She's one of my friends. She asked, what is your and Ryan's favorite way to reconnect between date nights? Watch movies together? Do YouTube stuff together? Do you have another hobby together? So, between date nights, the things that we probably do most is pretty much every night we watch at least one episode of Netflix in bed, and then sometimes we tack on the chill to the end of it. Was that totally corny? That was totally corny. Ryan and I are definitely a Netflix and chill couple. And yes, I know that chill means sex. Hobby-wise, I would say the games. We play a lot of games like Settlers of Catan, or Canasta, or what else do we play? I don't know, lots of games. We like strategy games probably best. Canasta isn't a strategy game, but if you guys watch our vlogs, then you know that we really like strategy games, so we tend to play those a lot. I'm going to answer 2 more questions, and the first one is going to be from Brittany Lilly, and she says, since you're a stay-at-home mom, parentheses, but you also have a real money-paying job too, what does Ryan expect from you around the house? How do you guys split domestic responsibilities? I ask because my husband has 2 jobs, only works 4 days a week though, but feels everything in our home is my responsibility as I don't have a paying job. I get him to clean more often than he likes though. Haha. Good. I'm glad that you get him to clean. And someone else asked a question along this line, and that was Jessica Aline, hopefully I said that right. She said, our son was born on December 3rd of 2016, and I'm still on maternity leave while my fiance went back to work. I feel guilty when he comes home from work and takes care of the baby so I can sleep for a few hours and then take back over. Did you ever deal with this, and if so, how do you handle it? When Ryan comes home from work, he pretty much always at minimum takes Rev and plays with her for a little while. not just to give me a break, but to give him time with Revelin, because he's at work all day and then he gets some time with me at night, but he gets even less time with the girls, and so he wants to make sure that he gets that one-on-one time with Rev and Ari, and so he has never had an issue taking the girls and playing with them. And then Ryan also will then do the dishes at night while I edit the vlog. I pretty much just give all the credit to Ryan's mom for raising him right to like doing chores. I think I mentioned before, he's always wanted to be a dad. Even when he was a kid, he just knew that when he grew up, he wanted to be a dad. And so if the opportunity ever presented him to be home and stay with us, he has an entrepreneurial type mind, and so he's constantly always thinking of different things that he could invent or something like that that he wants to do in the future to make our life as stable as possible and allow him to be home to help raise our kids. But he has also said that he would never want my job of staying home with the girls on his own, and because of that, I have left him home for a couple hours with the girls before, and so that's why he knows he would not want that job. Because of that, I think that's why he is so open and understanding to doing the dishes and keeping up with certain things, and understanding why when he comes home, I just need some time to myself. But again, I know that every family dynamic is different and every relationship is different. And I know that a lot of you moms are watching, and maybe you also have husbands who feel that every type of domestic responsibility is your job, and that's overwhelming. And I definitely can understand how that would be overwhelming. And I wish I had the perfect answer of how to get your husband to open his eyes, or your boyfriend, or whoever it is, to open their eyes and see what it is that you do. Even if you're stressed out or you feel unappreciated by your significant other, just know that I am super proud of everything you accomplished, and that you're an awesome mom, and that you're doing an awesome job. And I know I don't know all of you guys individually, but being a mom is hard work, and having a spouse, significant other, whoever, that is not completely on board with you can add to the mix. Ryan and I may have found something that really works well for us, but we're by no means perfect, and we definitely have really difficult days. And there are definitely days where he feels that I'm not doing something that I should be doing, or days that I feel he's not doing something that he should be doing. And for Ryan and I, it's just been a lot of communication and making sure that we're fully on the same page for, you know, the things that we expect from one another and don't expect from one another. Just know that I'll be praying for you and hoping that things get a little bit easier. And I'm gonna end the video at this. I'm pretty sure I'm at like 20, 40, 50 minutes of footage that I had to edit. Hopefully I was able to edit it down a lot. If you guys did enjoy this video, make sure you give it a thumbs up and share it with a friend if you think that they will get some kind of benefit from this. I am so thankful for each and every one of you guys, and so thank you for hitting that subscribe button like you have. If you haven't yet, make sure that you hit it so that you get notifications. There's also, if you go to my main page, there's a little bell in the corner. If you click that, then you'll get notified whenever I post a video so you don't miss one, because I know on this channel I tend to kind of post kind of all over the place at the end of the week. But with that, I will see you guys next week. Bye.